Yeah! I can turn them on, but I can't turn them off.
One of the biggest box office hits of 1980 had a script so messy that even its star called it the worst he'd ever read.
And Bert says, hey, Turk, can you do me a favor? Can you stop, the car? And I said, oh, sure. And I go, hey, Joe, tackle that car.
But it still killed in the box office. Today, we're revealing 25 insane facts for Smokey and the Bandit 2, brought to you by Cinebuster. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And now, lights, camera, action. Number 1. There's a reason why some scenes feel rushed and why the production was so chaotic. Needham was basically directing 2 movies at once, which is absolutely insane. Smokey and the Bandit 2 was being filmed at the exact same time as the Cannonball Run. Director Hal Needham was quite literally running 2 major productions simultaneously, with Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise starring in both films. Actors would shoot scenes for Smokey in the morning, then jump over to the Cannonball Run set in the afternoon. Minor cast and crew would work on both movies because, well, they were already on set. Number 2. When Smokey and the Bandit 2 opened in August 1980, it made an absolutely massive $10.8 million in its first weekend. At the time, this was the second highest opening weekend ever, trailing only Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It also set a record for the biggest opening week with $18 million. The studio was celebrating. They had a genuine hit on their hands. The film went on to make $66 million domestically against a $17 million budget, becoming the 8th highest grossing film of 1980. So despite what critics said, and they said some harsh things, audiences showed up in huge numbers. Number 3.
Mr. Bandit, you have a lyrical way of cutting through the bullshit.
Burt Reynolds and Sally Field had been dating since the first Smokey and the Bandit in 1977, and were Hollywood's couple. But by the time they were filming the sequel, their relationship was falling apart. Sally Field had just won her first Oscar for Norma Ray in early 1980, and according to her memoir In Pieces, Burt was not happy about her success. She said he was jealous and controlling, and he refused to accompany her to the Oscars ceremony.
Incredible. You saved my life. It was totally unselfish.
I bet that was hard to say, but when you watch the Bandit and Frog arguing in this movie, there's real tension there. They weren't just acting, they were actually dealing with relationship issues. The movie's plot about them being broken up and trying to reconnect, that was painfully close to real life. Number 4. Jackie Gleason, playing the unforgettable Sheriff Buford T. Justice, was dealing with serious health issues during production. In one article shortly before filming, he had triple bypass surgery after doctors noted that his arteries were 80 to 90% clogged. And quote, a heart attack was imminent, and he was on life support machines at some points. So he insisted that all of his scenes be filmed first so he could wrap up his work and go home. A true comic. After the surgery on the alphabet board, he wrote, I want out now. Number 5. Speaking of Gleason, viewers already know that he portrayed 3 different characters in the movie, but one name sticks out. Buford T. Justice's brother, Reginald Van Justice, is actually a Canadian version of Reginald Van Gleason, a character from the Jackie Gleason TV show. In today's world of movie remakes and character reprisals, this is one of the earliest I know of. Can you think of any others? Let me know in the comments below. Number 6. U.S. policy was focused on conserving energy due to the '73 oil embargo, and that inadvertently or advertently suffocated the muscle car era. The stunt crew was really disappointed with the car's performance, or rather, lack thereof. They just didn't have the speed needed for the high-octane chase scenes. So they installed nitrous oxide tanks to give the cars an extra boost. Those amazing jumps and high-speed chases you see in the movie were all thanks to chemistry helping out. Number 7. The old Greyhound coaster at the Lakewood Fairgrounds in Atlanta, Georgia had been deemed unsafe and was scheduled to be torn down anyway, so the production team got permission to destroy it for the movie. This was perfect timing. They got an amazing action sequence and the fairgrounds got their demolition done for free. The same roller coaster actually appeared in the background of the first Smokey and the Bandit movie, so it's like the roller coaster got a cameo appearance before its grand finale. Number 8. After the movie came out, critics absolutely destroyed it. Roger Ebert gave it 1 star out of 4. Rotten Tomatoes has it at only 25%. Critics called it lazy, formulaic, and a pale imitation of the original. So, how did director Hal Needham respond? He took out a full-page ad in Variety magazine, the Hollywood trade publication, showing himself sitting on a wheelbarrow full of cash. It was basically his way of saying, you can hate the movie all you want, but we made bank. A legendary middle finger to critics in Hollywood history. I wasn't able to locate a picture of the article, but supposedly it's in Hal Needham's autobiography. It's called Stuntman for those who care to see it. Number 9. The entire plot of Smokey and the Bandit 2 revolves around transporting an elephant mascot to the Republican National Convention in Dallas. Here's the thing, the film was written and produced before it was announced that the 1980 Republican Convention would actually be held in Detroit, not Dallas. So the whole movie is based on outdated information. By the time the film was released in August 1980, the real Republican Convention had already happened in July, in a completely different city. In addition, there are no real deserts between Miami and Dallas, no month-long animal quarantines, and elephants don't cry, but they still have feelings. Number 10.
Now that you've got a hold of Charlotte.
I don't have a hold of Charlotte. Charlotte's got a hold of me.
Well, whatever. Why don't you...
Charlotte the elephant was played by a real elephant, Kora, and working with her was apparently a nightmare. The scene where Bandit removes a splinter from Charlotte's foot and she falls in love with him took forever to film because they had to coax the elephant to cooperate. The trainers had to use tons of treats and positive reinforcement to get the elephant to do even simple actions. They had to get creative with camera angles and elephant behavior to make it look believable. Number 11. After retiring to the Topeka Zoo, Kora became a fan favorite and local legend for years. Tragically, caretakers at the Topeka Zoo observed she stopped eating and her health declined. So they made the difficult decision to euthanize her in October 2025 at age 67. At the time of her passing, she was one of the oldest elephants under human care. Although Kora's gone, she's forever in our hearts. Number 12.
I guess we'll go back to doing what I do best. Show off.
Smokey and the Bandit 2 was the first movie ever to have audiences enamored with footage of actors messing up lines, stunts going wrong, and Bert doing anything to give his buddies a laugh. This was director Hal Needham's innovation, and it was ingenious. It kept audiences in their seats during the credits and gave them bonus entertainment. He used the same technique in the Cannonball Run, filmed at the same time, and pretty soon the whole industry was copying it. Might be the film's most lasting contribution to cinema. Number 13. The logistics of coordinating that many vehicles for one sequence was absolutely insane. The final showdown features Sheriff Buford T. Justice calling in reinforcements. His brothers bring approximately 50 police cars and Mountie cruisers. Then Cletus calls in a convoy of big rig trucks to help destroy all those police cars in a giant demolition derby. They destroyed so many cars during this scene that the production team had to constantly source new vehicles. By the end of filming, the junkyard was full of crushed police cars and demolished Trans Ams. Come on! Number 14. Another cool fact, Hal Needham is an uncredited stuntman driving one of the big rig trucks here in the Great Demolition scene. As the best to ever do it. I don't blame him for joining in. Number 15. One of the stranger additions to the movie is the training montage where Frog and Cletus whip the alcoholic bandit back into shape. He's running, doing sit-ups, getting sobered up, basically getting ready for the big run. The scene was added because Burt Reynolds was apparently not in his usual shape during filming. Between the stress of his relationship with Sally Field falling apart and the grueling double movie shooting schedule, Reynolds was exhausted. The filmmakers cleverly wrote this into the story, making the bandit a washed-up has-been who needs to get back in shape. It actually works thematically, even if it was born out of necessity. Little Enos was right. Old legends never die, they just lose weight. Hey, gonna take a quick second to remind you, if you're enjoying these behind-the-scenes facts, do me a favor and hit that like button. Over 90% of viewers watching aren't subscribed. I want to try and hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and need your help. A like and sub is free. It costs you nothing, but it helps me make more videos and reach more classic movie fans just like you. Now, back to the video. Number 16.
Today, Bert is here in Austin to herald the unveiling of a movie called The Bandit.
The plot of Smokey and the Bandit 2 is actually a meta-commentary on Burt Reynolds' own career at the time. In the movie, Bandit is a washed-up has-been. People don't recognize him anymore. He's living in the past, drinking too much, and desperate to reclaim his former glory. There's even a scene where he yells at a gas station attendant, "I'm one of the most beloved grassroots folk heroes of America." This was basically Burt Reynolds' real situation in 1980. By then, younger action stars like Kurt Russell, Mel Gibson, and Bruce Willis were taking over. Reynolds was still a big star, but his reign at the top was ending. The film's ending, where Bandit realizes that love is more important than fame, was probably wish fulfillment for Reynolds, who was dealing with his relationship with Sally Field crumbling in real life. Number 17.
Well, it was 5-3 until 2 days before I started shooting. They sent a hatchet man down and took $1 million away from me.
Director Hal Needham started with a budget of $5.3 million. But midway through production, a studio executive, whom Needham called a hatchet man, showed up in Atlanta and informed him his budget was being cut to $4 million. With Burt Reynolds alone making $1 million, that left Needham with roughly $3 million to make the rest of the film. This was why some scenes feel rushed and why they relied so heavily on practical stunts rather than elaborate set pieces. Needham knew how to stretch a dollar when it came to action sequences, but the budget cut definitely affected the final product. It's a miracle the movie looks as good as it does, given those constraints. Number 18.
Could you hold him up for a while?
Oh, be glad to. Hey, Joe!
Yeah.
Smokey and the Bandit 2 features cameos from real sports legends. Hall of Famer and former Steelers quarterback Terry Bradshaw appears as himself, as does Mean Joe Green, both four-time Super Bowl champions. There's the scene filmed at the Orange Bowl where Bandit drives along a football field sideline and casually greets them. NFL defensive lineman Joe Klecko also appears in the film. These weren't trained actors, they just happened to be fans of the first movie and wanted to be part of the sequel. The film also features country music stars like Brenda Lee, Mel Tillis, and Don Williams. Don Williams actually performs in a nightclub scene where the characters take a break from their run. These cameos don't add much to the plot, but they give the movie a fun party atmosphere to remember our favorite celebs. Number 19. In a 2024 interview on The Rich Eisen Show, Bradshaw is asked what's his most memorable Reynolds story. After some thought, he recalls how fun Jackie Gleason was to be around, and also includes this one bit.
He had a golf cup. Not kidding you. This huge golf cup full of vodka. I'm like, wow, this is great.
So Jackie was hammering down.
I guess alcohol was the one solution to his problems on set. Number 20.
My zipper's stuck.
The hilarious scene where Junior announces that his zipper is stuck after using the bathroom results in the most awkward father-son moment ever. The scene was completely improvised by Jackie Gleason and Mike Henry. It wasn't in the script, but Gleason suggested it on set and Needham decided to film it. It became one of the most memorable moments in the entire movie. This shows Gleason's comedic genius. Even when working with a weak script, he found ways to create genuinely funny moments through improvisation and his perfect timing. 21.
No?
There is a wedding in search of a bride.
If you've seen the first film, the sequel setup will feel very familiar. Once again, Carrie, Sally Field, is about to marry Junior Justice when she gets a phone call. Once again, she ditches him at the altar and runs off. Critics absolutely hammered the movie for this lazy recycling of the first film's plot. Roger Ebert specifically called out this repetition in his review. The filmmakers didn't even try to come up with a new reason for why Carrie and Bandit had broken up, or why she's marrying Junior again. Also, if she had returned, wouldn't she be charged as an accomplice of Bandit from running from law enforcement, or at least aiding and abetting? Either way, it's the exact same setup, which made the movie feel less like a sequel and more like a remake. Number 22.
Well, I got news for you. The Bandit is back.
And the movie Bandit has fallen so far that he actually traded his beloved 1977 Trans Am for a case of beer. When Carrie arrives to help get him back on track, she trades in Junior's car for a brand new 1980 Trans Am. She names his new car Son of Trigger, a reference to the original Trans Am from the first film, which Bandit had nicknamed Trigger after Roy Rogers' famous horse. There's even a funny line where Carrie says, "Can you imagine Roy Rogers selling Trigger for a six-pack?" It's the movie's way of acknowledging how far the Bandit has fallen and how absurd his alcoholism storyline is. Number 23. Another continuity error that drives people crazy. The prize money for delivering the elephant keeps changing. At first, Big Enos offers $100,000. Then it becomes $200,000. Then Bandit demands $400,000 and gets it. But they want half up front. Later in the movie, different characters reference different amounts. Carrie is offered $50,000 to help out. It's never quite clear who's getting paid or what, or whether these are separate payments or part of the total. This sloppiness suggests the script went through multiple rewrites and nobody bothered to make sure the numbers stayed consistent. It's a small thing, but it's emblematic of the film's rushed production. Number 24. Despite mixed reviews, Smokey and the Bandit 2 made enough money to inspire a third film, Smokey and the Bandit 3. Released in '83 and then 4 lesser-known prequel TV movies that supposedly depict Bandit's origination story. All 4 of them, interestingly enough, were directed by yours truly, Hal Needham. The third film is the equivalent of that cousin related by blood only, and really isn't considered part of the family. Yeah, that bad. Burt Reynolds only appeared in a brief cameo, and Sally Field refused to return at all. The 4 prequels are like second, third cousins you've never met in your life. And like many fans don't even know they exist. They're supposedly not terrible, but Brian Bloom portraying young Bandit is the only standout actor. Has anyone seen them? Let me know in the comments below. Number 25. Critics were right to pan this film as a lazy rehash of the original with a ridiculous elephant subplot. But it's also an important contribution to film. It captured a specific moment in American pop culture, when Southern fried action comedies ruled the box office. It showcased some of the best practical stunts at car chases of the era, and Jackie Gleason's performance as Sheriff Buford T. Justice remains iconic. The movie also introduced the blooper reel credits, influenced countless action comedies that came after it, and kept the Trans Am as the coolest car in America. Was it a cash grab? Absolutely. Did it work? Well, it made $66 million, so yeah, it worked. So, which fact surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more behind-the-scenes videos about classic movies. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. And until next time, that's a big 10-4.